Welcome to The Debate. Imagine a business willingly throwing 12,000 euros into a fireplace every single month.
Just watching it burn.
Literally just watching it burn, yeah. And simply because their staff, they can't pick up a ringing telephone fast enough. I mean, it sounds absurd, but that is the quiet operational reality for thousands of mid-sized businesses today.
Right, the inefficiency of missed calls.
Exactly. It's a massive drain on revenue, and it is exactly the problem that modern AI voice agents claim to solve.
And they claim to solve it with absolute, mathematical certainty. I mean, if you look at the promotional models, they present this pristine, almost perfectly calibrated financial spreadsheet.
Oh, absolutely.
You just input your operational variables, and the system spits out this staggering projected return on investment. It looks flawless on paper.
Which is why we are looking so closely at Clickfone today. They are a platform providing AI voice agents specifically designed for business telephony. We are examining their operational viability and, well, that exact ROI projection.
Right, because the numbers are just huge.
Exactly. Because when you look at their numbers, this isn't just an incremental software upgrade. It's a completely transformative business solution. So our central question is whether these automated voice agents genuinely deliver the massive cost efficiency, the 3,000+% ROI promised in their models.
Or if the real-world friction of customer service actually complicates those projections. And to ground this analysis, we are drawing directly from Clickfone's platform documentation, their specific feature sets, and their exact ROI calculator data.
Right. Everything we discuss is based on their published capabilities.
Exactly. And, while I'd love to believe those pristine numbers, I come at it from a different way. I'll be arguing that this 3,000% ROI is wearing rose-colored glasses, and it severely underestimates the friction of automated service quality and the hidden complexities of, deep technical integrations.
And I will be taking the position that the metrics represent a highly scalable, transformative business solution that is mathematically necessary for modern operations.
Well, let's get into it then.
Let's start with the baseline math, because to understand the appeal, you really have to understand the bleeding that the AI is supposed to stop. Clickfone uses a hypothetical yet highly typical business profile. Let's look at a mid-sized operation in the DACH region, so Germany, Austria, and Switzerland.
Okay, so like a busy medical clinic or a real estate agency.
Exactly. Or a mid-sized law firm. They receive roughly 500 calls per month. The average conversation lasts about 4 minutes, and they pay their front desk staff an average hourly rate of 25 euros.
Yeah, that's a very standard operational profile.
Now, the critical failure point in this business is a 30% missed call rate. The receptionist is busy with a patient, or they're on another line, or perhaps it's just after hours. 30% of those calls go to voicemail or just ring out.
Which is incredibly common.
Right. So if each of those calls represents an average revenue of 80 euros, say, a booked consultation or a new patient, the inefficiency is staggering. The business is spending about 833 euros a month on personnel just to manage the phones.
And yet, because of that 30% miss rate, they are hemorrhaging 12,000 euros in lost revenue every single month. The invisible costs of doing business.
Exactly. It's huge. So Clickfone's proposition is that an AI voice agent, which is available 24/7 and operates fluently in over 30 languages, can completely capture that lost 30%.
Okay.
Based on their pricing, the operational cost of the Clickfone system for this volume is roughly 410 euros a month. That yields a monthly savings of over 12,400 euros, which translates to almost 150,000 euros annually.
Wow.
Yeah, that is where they derive that 3,030% ROI. My position is that this is a mathematical mandate, replacing 833 euros of flawed, bottlenecked human capacity with 410 euros of infinite digital capacity. I mean, it's just a necessary evolution.
Well, the raw math is certainly seductive, I'll give you that. But I approach those same numbers with deep intellectual skepticism regarding how a theoretical calculation actually translates into service reality.
How so?
Well, that 3,000% ROI rests on a highly fragile assumption. It assumes that an automated system can seamlessly convert those 30% of missed calls into the full 80 euro average revenue without degrading the customer experience.
I see.
The calculator assumes a one-to-one parity, It assumes an AI closes a lead at the exact same rate a human being closes a lead.
I see why you think that, but let me give you a different perspective on how we evaluate this. We really have to move away from the assumption that human customer service is inherently superior in all contexts.
Okay, go on.
Look at the dual financial benefit here. First, you are replacing the cost of rote, repetitive tasks. Second, Clickfone claims a 38% increase in accepted calls simply by eliminating the human bottleneck.
Sure, just by answering the phone.
Exactly. Even if we accept your premise, even if the AI does not convert every single caller with perfect human empathy, recovering any fraction of that lost 12,000 euros validates the system. Think of the AI as a digital triage nurse.
A triage nurse?
Yes. By handling level 1 inquiries, things like opening hours, basic bookings for a fitness studio, or standard prescription requests at a doctor's office, it doesn't degrade service, it elevates it.
Right, by filtering the noise.
It frees up your actual human staff for the complex cases that legitimately require human empathy. The AI handles the volume and the human handles the nuance.
That is a compelling argument, but have you considered the actual use cases Clickfone is marketing? Because they are not just pitching this as a glorified answering machine for standard FAQs. What do you mean?
The documentation explicitly states the AI is tasked with lead Qualifizierung, lead qualification. This means asking discovery questions and handing over hot leads to the sales team.
Right, yes.
They're targeting B2B sales for outbound campaigns, real estate for coordinating high-value property viewings, law firms for qualifying initial consultations. I mean, this is not basic triage. This is high-stakes, nuanced communication. Terrible press 1 for sales, press 2 for support, phone trees that everyone hates.
Sure, nobody likes those.
Modern AI voice agents don't rely on keyword routing. They utilize large language models to understand semantic intent.
Semantic intent is powerful, yes, but it still requires a predictable operational environment.
But how the AI actually achieves this is crucial to understand. When a person speaks, legacy speech-to-text would just match sound waves to words, and it often failed miserably on accents or homophones.
Yeah, it was notoriously bad.
But modern LLM-backed voice agents look at the surrounding sentence to predict the most logical word. It understands context. That is why it can differentiate the context of a caller's request in real time in 30 different languages and structure a logical response. It navigates ambiguity by understanding the intent behind the words.
I understand the mechanism. But humans, especially humans in high-stakes situations, are famously terrible at providing clean context.
That's fair.
Imagine a potential client calling a law firm. That is an inherently stressful, high-friction situation. If the AI misinterprets the emotional tenor of the call or rigidly adheres to a set of pre-programmed discovery questions without recognizing the caller's distress, the lead simply abandons the call.
Well, sure, there are edge cases.
And true service quality requires a flexibility that standard automation fundamentally lacks. You argue that recovering any fraction of the 12,000 euros validates the cost. I argue that putting an AI on the front lines of your most critical lead generation channels risks alienating the very customers who generate that 80 euro average revenue.
That's an interesting point, though I would frame it differently. You are focusing on the catastrophic failure of an edge case, but ignoring the baseline reality that a missed call generates exactly 0 euros and 0 goodwill.
True, a missed call is a total loss.
Right. A frustrated caller who gets an engaged tone or a voicemail box that is never checked is already deeply alienated. Clickfone mitigates this by guaranteeing a real-time response. Furthermore, the system includes automatic real-time routing.
To a human, you mean?
Yes. If the AI detects a complex or highly sensitive inquiry, if it recognizes distress or confusion, it can immediately forward the call to a human agent or an external number. It is an intelligent filter, not a dead end.
Okay. I will certainly acknowledge that routing to a human is a crucial safety valve. If the AI hits a wall, transferring the call is essential. But even to have that conversation, to even recognize when to route a call or how to answer a basic question, the AI needs to know what it is talking about.
Of course.
It needs deep context about the business, which honestly brings up a massive operational vulnerability, which is system integration. Service quality depends entirely on context, and context requires flawless CRM and data integration.
Which is exactly why Clickfone emphasizes its setup speed and connectivity. They quote a time to live of under 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Right.
This is a massive leap forward for business operations. Historically, implementing custom voice recognition systems took weeks of expensive developer time. Here, a business owner can simply upload their existing knowledge base.
Just drop in the files?
Yeah, you drop in your FAQs, your pricing PDFs, your internal process documents, and the agent trains on this architecture automatically.
And you believe that process is entirely frictionless?
I believe they've removed the traditional technical barriers. You can connect it to Google Calendar or Outlook with 2 clicks to handle real-time bookings. Through their API, you can route the data directly into CRMs like HubSpot, Pipedrive, and Salesforce without writing a single line of code.
Okay, an API connection is standard, sure.
You generate an authentication token in your CRM, paste it into Clickfone, and the systems are talking. And crucially, it does this while maintaining strict GDPR compliance, or DSGVO as it's known in Europe, utilizing EU hosting and encrypted data transfer.
I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that the friction has been magically erased by an API token. The tension between a 5-minute time to live and deep, flawless CRM integration is immense. In the real world, these two concepts are practically mutually exclusive.
How so? The APIs are highly standardized. Connecting the software literally takes seconds.
Connecting the digital pipe takes seconds, yes, but ensuring the water flowing through that pipe is clean, that takes months.
Well,
Uploading unstructured FAQs and PDFs to train an AI requires meticulous data hygiene. Let's look at how retrieval-augmented generation actually works. When the AI gets a question, it searches those uploaded PDFs for the answer.
right.
If a restaurant uploads a menu PDF from 2024 that has an outdated holiday policy buried in the footer, the AI will confidently hallucinate that incorrect information to a customer. The AI does not know what is wrong, it only knows what it has been fed.
But that is an issue with the business's data, not the AI platform.
To the caller, there is no difference. And the friction compounds when we talk about CRM handover. Think of the AI like a high-speed mail sorting machine. Clickfone listens to unstructured audio, generates transcripts, extracts the contact data, and tries to push it into structured CRM fields in Salesforce or Pipedrive.
Right. It structures the unstructured data.
It is trying to put messy human conversation into neat digital envelopes. Have you ever seen the formatting nightmares that occur when an AI attempts to extract a complexly spelled German surname over a crackly mobile phone line and push it into a strict CRM data field? If the mail sorting machine jams because the handwriting is bad, the lead is lost in the system.
I am not convinced by that line of reasoning because, again, you are applying the limitations of older technology to a modern semantic system.
How is it different?
The AI asks for clarification if a name is unclear. It can ask the caller to spell things out. Yes, data hygiene is required, and yes, a business must review their PDFs before uploading them, but I would argue that an AI agent forces a business to finally standardize and clean up its knowledge base. That forced operational audit is a massive net positive.
Okay, a forced operational audit is highly beneficial. I agree. But it fundamentally contradicts the marketing claim of a frictionless 5-minute setup.
Well, 5 minutes for the technical connection.
Right, but if you have to audit your entire corporate knowledge base, you are not live in 5 minutes. And we cannot gloss over the GDPR and DSGVO implications here.
The platform is built specifically with European privacy standards in mind. The architecture uses EU servers and encrypted transfers. The guardrails are firmly in place.
The architecture is compliant, which is excellent. But data compliance is also about data minimization and patient consent. Let's go back to your medical clinic example.
Okay.
If a patient calls a clinic and the AI is transcribing their symptoms to push into a CRM to qualify the lead, the burden of ensuring that sensitive health data is handled legally falls entirely on the clinic's configuration of the system.
Right, the user's responsibility.
Exactly. If the AI's prompt isn't tightly constrained, it might transcribe highly sensitive medical histories into a standard sales CRM that doesn't have the proper health data protections. A 5-minute setup is a dangerous illusion when dealing with sensitive personal data.
But they mitigate that risk. Clickfone offers pre-built templates specifically for these industries. Medical practices, law firms, real estate. These templates are pre-configured to handle data routing safely and efficiently. We shouldn't penalize the tool because a user might theoretically configure it poorly.
It's a risk worth noting, though.
Fair enough. But let's assume the data hygiene is perfect and the CRM is wired correctly. Let us move to the final pressure test of this system. What happens when you expose this integrated system to the open internet and subject it to the relentless reality of live 24/7 operation?
Ah, yes. This is where the fixed versus variable cost model faces its most severe test.
I argue it is where the model proves its ultimate superiority. The 24/7 claim is robust. The system doesn't take weekends off, it doesn't need a sick day, and it doesn't suffer from cognitive fatigue after a 10-hour shift.
That is undeniably true.
For growing businesses, Clickfone offers a tiered infrastructure to support this load.
Let's look closely at those tiers then.
You have the starter tier for small teams at €49.99. But for serious, continuous load, a business would look at the Pro tier at €149.99, which includes 600 minutes and your own SIP trunk.
Okay, let me pause you there because the underlying technology is important. For listeners who might not be telecom engineers, a SIP trunk is essentially the digital highway that allows a business to handle multiple concurrent phone calls over the internet, rather than relying on traditional physical phone lines.
Exactly. It's what allows the system to scale. And if you need more capacity, you have the business tier at €299.99 for 1,200 minutes, featuring API access and a dedicated service level agreement.
Right.
This represents an unbreakable front line of communication. It absorbs the totality of your inbound volume. If 100 people call at the exact same second, the SIP trunk and the AI handle all 100 conversations simultaneously.
Unbreakable in terms of capacity, perhaps, but certainly not financially invulnerable. Let us apply that pricing structure to your initial baseline math. Your baseline was a business receiving 500 calls at 4 minutes each.
Yes.
That is 2,000 minutes of talk time per month.
Correct.
The business tier, which costs roughly €300, only includes 1,200 minutes.
Yes. And beyond that, the variable minute price kicks in at €0.15 per minute.
Exactly. So those remaining 800 minutes will cost an additional €120, bringing the monthly software cost to roughly €420, which perfectly aligns with the €410 quoted in their ROI calculator.
Right, it scales exactly as predicted.
But here is the massive vulnerability of unmonitored 24/7 load. What happens during an unexpected spike in call volume?
A spike in call volume means a spike in leads. If your marketing campaign goes viral, the system scales automatically to capture that revenue. If a human receptionist gets 2,000 calls in a day, they crash.
They do.
But the AI captures every single one of those €80 leads.
But not all volume is good volume. The reality of having a public-facing phone number is that it attracts immense amounts of noise. What happens if there is a sudden surge in spam calls or a malicious denial of service attack via phone bots?
Well, there are protections against that.
Because the system is 24/7 and fully automated, the meter is always running. At 15 to 20 cents a minute, a prolonged wave of low-value or spam calls could rapidly inflate costs.
That is why network-level security exists.
But look at the financial structure. Your human receptionist receives a fixed salary of roughly €833, whether they answer 100 calls or 500 calls. Their cost is capped.
Yes, but their capacity is capped too.
True. But with a consumption-based AI model, your operational costs are theoretically uncapped. You are trading fixed human constraints for variable digital complexities. An unbreakable front line that charges by the minute can quietly erode the very cost efficiency we praised in the first round if the business isn't actively monitoring its analytics dashboards.
That is a fair observation regarding variable costs, but it ignores the fundamental mechanics of modern enterprise telephony. SIP trunks already have robust spam filtering at the network level, well before the call ever reaches the AI and triggers a billing minute.
Assuming the filters catch it.
Furthermore,
Clickphone's live dashboard provides real-time KPIs on minutes used, conversion rates, and accrued costs. A business isn't flying blind. They can see a spike in real time and adjust.
Assuming they are watching the dashboard on a Sunday at 2 a.m.
But let's be realistic about the human comparison here. If a human receptionist is bombarded with 500 spam calls, they aren't answering the legitimate leads. The legitimate leads become missed calls, which go back to costing the business €80 apiece.
That is a fair point.
The 15 cents per minute you pay the AI to politely and instantly filter a spam call is a microscopic insurance premium to guarantee that the actual paying customer gets through without waiting on hold.
It is only a microscopic premium if the ratio of signal to noise remains highly favorable. My point is that the 3,030% ROI is calculated in a vacuum where every single minute billed is productive and every integration works flawlessly.
Sure, it's an optimal scenario.
The technology is undeniably capable, and the ability to spin up an intelligent agent in 30 languages that connects directly to a CRM is a remarkable engineering feat. But business leaders must understand exactly what they are managing.
Ultimately, it comes down to the empirical data and the structural advantage. We have explored the mechanics deeply today, from semantic intent to API tokens. And my position remains that the recovery of lost leads makes this fundamentally sound.
Despite the setup friction,
Yes, when a business is losing €12,000 a month simply because a human being cannot physically be on 2 phone lines at once, the mathematical necessity of an AI voice agent becomes overwhelmingly clear. Provided businesses utilize the integrations correctly, properly structure their knowledge bases, and leverage the real-time routing to human agents for highly complex issues, Clickphone offers an operational scale that legacy telephony simply cannot match.
and I will maintain that while the capability is fast, that 3,030% ROI is an idealized ceiling. The true value will not be dictated by a pristine calculator, but by how much friction occurs in the real world.
The day-to-day realities.
Right. It depends on whether that mail sorting machine of CRM handoffs jams, how clean the underlying data hygiene actually is, and whether the AI can maintain high-quality service during nuanced, high-stakes interactions without alienating the caller. It is an incredibly powerful tool, but it requires rigorous operational oversight, continuous data management, and a healthy dose of skepticism toward any claim of an effortless 5-minute setup.
The intersection of automated efficiency and human customer service is perhaps the most complex operational challenge businesses face today. The numbers show us exactly what is possible when we remove physical bottlenecks.
But the business must still navigate the messy, unpredictable realities of human communication to actually realize those numbers. Examining one's own operational bottlenecks, the complexity of their incoming calls, and their true data readiness is the only way to know if this technology will actually stop the bleeding.
It seems the perfect digital equation still requires a very careful human hand to execute it properly. Thank you for joining us for this analysis. Keep questioning the calculations and keep looking at the reality behind the numbers.